Hey Sagittarius, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your poorly lit reading. It is the darkest days of winter are fast approaching, so that's the good news. Bad news is, like, I want to get a walk in and do these. I have to walk in the daylight, so we're gonna do these in the dark. So I just cut the deck actually after shuffling. Oh, that's really funny. Scorpio just got this. Sun. Clarity, looking for clarity. You, like everyone on this planet, or most people, want to be happy. This is about happiness. This is about clarity too, seeing things and growing from seeing those things. Oh yeah. That sense of like seeing things, taking stock of where you are, seeing things accurately, seeing things clearly, and having hope and being happy about the possibility of moving forward. There's a happiness here, but the happiness and the growth comes from clarity. So sometimes we're missing this step, or sometimes we like see where we're at, we feel despair, we don't continue on, and we don't use that frustration of where we're at versus where we want to be to actually take steps and feel growth. This is seeing the steps you need to take and taking them there, because there's something here about in this card about growth and about seeing something clearly, but then growing. It's there's always a lot of sunflowers here. There aren't on this one for some reason, but apparently I'm looking at, in my mind, I'm looking at the one with sunflowers. All of that growth, all of that really meaty, tangible growth, that and the true sort of fueling the growth towards happiness. That's what I'm seeing with this little sun card. There's also like the clarity here, the naked truth, I want to say. There's the naked truth here. And, as they say, the truth will mess you up before it sets you free. So, past. I think you already have it, though. Present. Hopes and fears. Jeez Louise. Okay, so we're just going to say, like, whatever you're going through right now, it's for, ultimately, if you use this shit as fertilizer, you're gonna get someplace good. Okay, we're gonna grow a sunflower, a delicious, meaty, productive sunflower from this pile of crap that you appear to be sitting on. Okay, what's at issue here? Oh yeah, we're healing. Pass. Oh no, the externals. Your to-do list. And okay, what's interesting is I shuffled very thoroughly. I take my shuffling seriously here. And you have 3 cards from Scorpio's reading. So maybe, I don't know, maybe there's a collective thing. Sometimes they think about that, like how interconnected we all are. So perhaps you know a Scorpio or have some Scorpio in your chart. So in the recent past, we have 5 of Cups, some sort of disappointment, frustration, and some readings of the 5 of Cups are that we have to is that you're obsessed with it. But I feel like that's like sort of like an old-fashioned reading of this card. I think that we can honor processes that we all have to go through in order to let go of something. There are events in all of our lives, no matter how good you are at letting things go. It's a process, and some people it takes longer than others. This has been a process. You've had someone here comforting you. I like how there's like this shadow angel, I want to say, like because you haven't, it's like the angel's been cut out. It's like you haven't seen the divine guidance. You haven't felt divinely guided. You didn't feel like this was good. I was just thinking the other day about someone from that I was in a relationship with like 25 years ago, and they cheated on me, and it caused this whole cascading event in my life that it just was like I left my religion because my religion had told me, you know, if that I grew up with, like, if you do all of these, if you check all of these boxes, everything in your relationship will be perfect. And here this was this, you know, I can't control someone else's like private parts. I can't tell them where to stick them and where not to stick them. So, you know, here I was told all of these things, and then all of this whole unfolding disaster where I ended up having, you know, the first divorce in the history of my family and all sorts of crazy stuff. But I was like, okay, well, you all have to be wrong because I followed all those rules. You're wrong. And so it set me off on this whole different path in my life. So the point of this story is that I came to this point recently where I was like, I wonder if he was divinely guided to cheat on me, because I would not be living a life that resonates with me as truly as this one does if he hadn't. If this whole thing hadn't blown up and I hadn't looked at every aspect of my life and been like, this was wrong. I was lied to for sure. And I'm going to suss out the lie here. And it turns out there were a lot of lies. And this all freed me eventually to live the life. And this has been coming up. This came up for me recently, and this is what I'm seeing in this card. Is something happened in the past that may have taken you a while to get over. This is what I'm seeing overall in the reading. Just looking at the cards, which I haven't shown you or discussed individually, overall for the reading, there's a sense of this realization that something happened for your greater good. So we don't ever tell people that individually, like, this is all gonna work out for you. Nobody wants to hear that. What we want is someone with their hand on our shoulder going, oh boy, yeah, this is tough. This is rough. We don't want someone that's like saying like, someday you're going to be like, thank you, Jesus, that this person treated me so horribly, because it really put my life on into something that was capable of resonating for me. And that's exactly the point of the tower that we have here in your environment, is something falling apart. And then you get to, and this is out of your control. You didn't get to choose this. So then you get to like, you know, move into a space that is more resonant for you. It creates a bit of a cleaner slate for you, because we didn't come in with a clean slate. I mean, we did, but then very quickly we were indoctrinated and enculturated, and we have to be. We're creatures of culture. So whatever culture we're born into, we're going to be enculturated into that culture. So, you know, and then these events come along, these towers that we don't really have a lot of say over, and we lose our job and then we find one that actually resonates with us a little better than the one that we had. But we wouldn't have left that because it was fine enough as it was. So, you know, I would have never left this person or anybody typically until there's a crisis, right? So that was like a real gift, and that it happened so quickly, you know. And the whole lesson was just so compacted. I didn't spend, you know, decades of my life living a life that didn't resonate with me. I did that for different reasons, but not in this one. But that didn't resonate with me because, you know, it just, they married, cheated, done. It just cycled really fast. And then now let's rethink everything. That's what I'm seeing overall with the reading. So I think I just like looked at these cards and gave you a little reading here, but let's go through them individually. Maybe some more will come out there. So you've been bereft. You've been upset, grieving. There's been a loss. There's still a lot of cool stuff here. Like this reading, the first part's going to focus on the crap that you've been through. Okay. So there was a loss, there was grief. You did not feel divinely guided, and that's what led to this whole reading here. It may, I'm here to tell you that it may eventually someday, and I feel like you're on the cusp of that, feel like something that happened that really caused some grief may have been somewhat divinely guided. I mean, it's harder to say that with, there are things where there's just no way to feel that way about it, but then there are other things where you can eventually find, and that's what this card talks about too, because the eventually finding the good, or finding how much you have actually after you grieve the loss, because this one does have 3 cups that haven't spilled, but there is a sense of needing to focus and do cry over the spilled milk. Does it help clean the milk up? No, but it helps you get ready to clean the milk up. So it helps you release, and it helps you keep these emotions from getting trapped in your musculature and in your body, and somatization. So cry the heck out of whatever, and it looks like you did. So in your current situation, 4 of Cups, very jaded, as obviously, you know, I love it. You still have the 3 cups here. You still have the 3 cups standing here. And now you're getting a 4th cup. There's you still have, you know, what you left the situation with, the past grievous situation with. You still have those things. So, you know, you went on a flight and you brought 5 suitcases, and 2 of them got lost, and you're upset about that, understandably. You still have the 3 suitcases, and someone's like, well, I have this extra suitcase. And you're like, why the hell do I want your suitcase? You know, and what's going to happen? They're just going to get lost. The airline's just going to lose it. Apparently, all I'm ever allowed is 3 suitcases. So 4 of Cups is a little bit of a jaded situation, which is understandable, right? Here, you're just, in both of these, you're just like, yeah, that sucks. And this has you looking at the past, looking at something that you've been through before. And here's this, oh my gosh, I had not noticed the similarities here. Here's the angel is appearing, the angel that you didn't see, this was not divinely guided or did not feel divinely guided, and you were very focused on that. And now we do have something that has the potential to be the real deal, the divinely guided, but you're so jaded. You've got your 3 cups. You used to have 5, and now you're supposed to be happy with 4. Really? But there's a possibility here. The 4 of Cups always talks about there's a possibility that this might be real. This might be, so the 4 of Cups is like a rejection, either because of not seeing the offer, not acknowledging the offer. There's a sense too here of not being seen, not feeling, someone doesn't feel valued, or that they are seen for who they truly are. Because someone here is jaded. So they're not able to see someone for who they truly are. This thing coming in may or may not be divinely guided. But unless you take a closer look at it, you won't know. So there's a sense of rejecting out of hand. No, thank you. I don't want this. I already been through this before. I've already had, 3 of your crappy ass mixed drinks with no alcohol in them whatsoever, or way too much alcohol in them, whatever we got going on here. I'm not actually going to buy another one. Sorry. But there's a sense of jadedness. But then there's a sense, which is understandable. You want to go through this again. You want this again. This person who maybe disappointed you in the past is coming back, and they're like, this time it's real. This time it's real. This time, this is Lucy saying, this time, Charlie Brown, you can kick the football, okay? I promise. And, you won't know unless you find out. But at the same time, like, how much of an idiot do you want to feel like? So that's where, this is the push and pull that I'm seeing in these cards for whoever I'm reading for. What's at issue here? This is funny because Scorpio had 10 of wands and you're having 10 of swords, which are both like hopeful that this is the end. You're very hopeful that this is the end of suffering. There's no more, healing can begin. Is this over yet? Can this just please be over yet? And this could be you breaking a cycle. You just saying like, no, you've hurt my feelings 3 times. I'm not falling for a 4th one. I actually just want this painful lesson, this horrible, painful lesson to be over. Just be over, be done. Get out of my face. Allow me to please just start healing here and get over it. Like, stop pestering me. Stop putting this in my face. This is a really great card though, because you're hopeful that this is the end. You're not wanting to further engage with a repeated disappointing cycle. You're hopeful that this is the end and that you don't have to do any more here. And Scorpio got a similar, obviously with the 10 of Wands, similar message. Like, you've been backstabbed enough. You've been, this is enough. This is enough is what I see you hoping for. And what's on your mind is like, this has got to be over. This has got to be the end. Stop bringing me these crappy offers. It's just disappointment, and that you're in a very jaded space, which might be appropriate and very protective, very much protecting yourself, protecting your ideas, protecting your thoughts. You don't want, no, why one more time? If the 3 you brought before, the 3 offers you brought before aren't good, why are you bringing a 4th? But unfortunately with the 4 of Cups, there is a possibility that this one is the real deal. But you just want it to be over. This whole thing needs to be over. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6. That's funny. We have a is that a small straight? No, in Yahtzee, that's a large straight. No, like it's all. Anyway, we have a small straight here. So, I don't know, pretty good. So 3 of Swords, not great, but pretty good. Pretty good. 3 of Swords in reverse. This is good. This is a healing from the heartbreak that you've had back here. You want these swords to come out here. We've got a gravity assist. Gravity is going to help these swords come out of your heart. Truths or somebody's truths were expressed unceremoniously, and they hurt your feelings back then. But you're healing. You're hopeful for healing. You are healing. You are healing. And, you know, maybe you've been a long time in grief, jaded, disappointment. You're hopeful that it's over. And the 3 of Swords in reverse is, it is over. And there's something about perhaps you breaking the cycle, perhaps you refusing to continue to participate in a repeated pattern that you may have with someone or with a job or with something like that. We do have a lot of cups here. Also, we have a lot of cups here as well. So 3 of Swords, there is healing occurring. Yeah, you want it, you got it. In your environment, again, we have this Tower card, something falling apart. Whoever's been in charge, whatever structure, whatever you've relied on, not here, not happening, is probably what has created this big chunk of disappointment that you've been trying to digest. And refusing to continue a cycle, refusing to accept the foul, rotten, insincere apology or whatever. There's just like, but something's falling apart. People are very upset. You're probably one of the people that's disappointed and upset. It could be a project that came apart. But there is in your environment the Tower, and the Tower is not standing firm. The Tower is on fire. So it's that falling apart, and you know, the consolation prize is that you get to rebuild, and at some point maybe you'll be happy about that. You'll get to rebuild something that resonates more with you and is more in alignment with who you are now. So, but currently it's shitty. Honestly, I don't know. I have such a hard time with like feeling upset about swear words. So it's really hard to respect, like, I get it. Kids are on here. You're telling me these kids have not heard their parents drive through town? Like, what? So I get it, but it is really hard for me to respect the rules there. Hopefully, I don't know. I don't care. 6 of Wands here. This is your to-do list. Just be victorious. Just a little victory here. But I do like it because it has to do with healing like this old wound of something sort of falling apart and seeing it clearly with new eyes and really being victorious in a grief process, having being victorious in a grief process. You are going to benefit, the people around you benefit with you sort of rising up. And you know what? I'm okay. You know what? I live to survive another day here. Which is an accomplishment in itself, right? But there is like the 6 of Wands, just be victorious. I'm not quite sure how 6 of Wands is a to-do list. It's public. 6 of Wands is always public. It always has to do with like success, victory, passion, and other people acknowledging your victory. This could be you also being part of someone else's victory and acknowledging their victory. But I think this is like some sort of triumph over some inner grief or some inner process. This Tower is crumbling. So it's like it's creating a crack and an opening for you to rise up, for you to succeed. The Tower is creating an opportunity for you. So you're not happy with it. And yet at the same time, I think you need to see the opportunity in it. Which if we were sitting across from a table talking about this past disappointment or this thing that's really bothered you and got you jaded, I would not say that to you. I would say, geez, that sucks. But since this is a tarot reading and you come here voluntarily and I'm just talking to the whoever's there you go. And then possible outcome, you're going to be really happy, really proud of yourself in a very emotionally stable place. But there's something about like maybe talking about your victories. There's something about using this as an opportunity to to move forward. There's some sort of opportunity that comes in and take it. So it's not just like, let's just force ourselves to be victorious. Maybe it isn't like breaking a cycle or breaking a pattern that you're tired of and you don't want to participate anymore. And this breaking through that, and not, you know, I finally like if you have someone that's comes around for, you know, booty call every so often and you're sick of it, you don't want to do it anymore, you want something else. This is like, you're finally able to be like, no, I'm not gonna, I want something else now. I want something else. So anyway, we have you being very happy, going through some sort of painful, difficult process. It could be minor to big, right? Painful, difficult process, and ending up very happy with the results. But you have to conquer something. You have to conquer something. What is it that you're conquering? Are you conquering this jaded Four of Cups mentality, or are you conquering the repeated pattern? I think with the Ten of Swords, it looks like you're healing and moving on. But what are you conquering? That's too many cards. I can't take all that many cards. Okay, we'll take the ones that spilled out. You are conquering heartbreak. Yes, we see that. Another Three of Swords coming out here. You're conquering heartbreak. You are taking some sort of risk. We have Eight of Wands. You're communicating something. Well, there it goes. That's our public idea of the Six of Wands. Fool, taking some sort of risk. And I think also a willingness to have beginner mind and to start at level 0 for something. You have Four of Wands, you're leveling up. That's definitely, we have 4, 6, and 8 of Wands here. So a nice little skipping, galloping little pattern here. So Four of Wands is leveling up. You're getting to the next level of something. Three of Cups, or Three of Pentacles, you're working with a team. You're getting a consultation, perhaps. Working with a team. Well, this is public, this is team. So we have like a public leveling up, a victory with a team. Lots of communication going on here. Well, that's also the parade energy here, is we're communicating something. Maybe we're communicating success with a parade. Taking a risk, healing something, healing some heartbreak. And a Six of Cups. Reconnecting with your roots, connecting with who you used to be, perhaps these 3 cups that you used to be before the losses, with a former part of yourself, a child self, some sort of your roots, basically. You're focusing more on the past and the history, and there's victory there. Six of Wands, Six of Cups, and the 4, 6, 8. So that all has to do with your victory. Something having to do with a past self, a past relationship, a past joy, reconnecting with that. Lots of communication, a public display of victory with a team, and healing from heartache, or with a group. So those are our clarifiers for what the Six of Wands, what you're doing here. You're being victorious. So let's go over to the Sacred Forest by Denise Lynn. This oracle cards. Just a couple this time, por favor. Okay, we'll just take one, actually. Fire Spirit energy. Well, this is our wands. We've got the lightning that hits the tower here. We also had lightning striking up this conversation and this communication here. Fire Spirit energy. This can also be like anger igniting, and learning how to control your energy, or learning how to work with your energy. It also could be like looking at a storm. There could be a storm coming through. Like, these are meant to be also synchronicity cards. So a storm coming through, a lightning storm of some kind, possibly fire of some kind. But also in the more theoretical sense, we could be talking about anger and energy. These all have you not very energetic in this top, like kind of wallowing. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that just like there's sitting and laying down depicted here. And then there's get up and trot forward, gallop forward, move forward with your messages, into the world with what you've learned. It looks like you've been in the trenches and you're emerging to tell the world what you've learned back here. But there's a sense of working with difficult energies and being able to handle, manage, learning how to deal with some sort of really difficult energy. Well, what else? We're going to look at the Wild Kuan Yin Oracle by Alana Fairchild. Here we have, oh, it's communion with someone else. It's playing. Again, we have a lot of messages, as we saw in the Eight of Wands. So walls come tumbling down. Oh my goodness. This is the Tower tumbling down. But this has it framed really beautifully. To defend ourselves against pain, we can create walls of protection around us, sometimes without even realizing it. Ooh, the jadedness there, too, that we were talking about. And this isn't mutually exclusive. You can be stopping a cycle and using that jadedness to stop a cycle. You can stop a cycle and also, as a result, be fairly jaded about new opportunities, because why would you jump at the new opportunities? But this Fool card does have you jumping at a new opportunity, maybe overcoming some of that jadedness. Okay, back to the story here. To defend ourselves against pain, we can create walls of protection around us. So armoring, guarding ourselves, sometimes without even realizing it. Those walls make it hard for love, life, and joy to enter our world. Maybe we needed those walls once upon a time, but now it's time for those walls to come tumbling down because divine love wants to enter your world. This is leaning more towards you're in a jaded space, and that's important and was important, but now you need to move forward victoriously from this jaded space and be a little more open. And you're going to be very proud of the emotional stability you have achieved. But the walls, the Tower tumbling down, allowing something comes apart, some sort of reliable, maybe even a reliable narrative starts coming apart at the seams to allow you to be more vulnerable, to breathe a little, to heal. There's a lot of healing here and moving on to better things. So all right, hopefully that was helpful. If you want to join me over on Vimeo, we're doing relationship readings, and I have like a different spread that I'm using for that. We're going to talk about them, and we're going to talk about you, and we're going to talk about the possibilities. Oh, this reminds me of the let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me and all the good things and the bad things that may be. I don't know, when I had a little kid, I would sing that. When I had little ones, I'd sing that as let's talk about socks. You know, putting on their socks was a big challenge. So we would talk about socks, baby. All right. I'll see you over there later. Bye.